Well, I am once again sitting on my floor in front of the half of my closet that has my fabric stash, so you know what that means. Today we're talking sewing plans for the upcoming seasons. This time I want to talk sewing and crafting plans for both fall and winter. I have a lot of things that I would like to make that I'm really excited about. I decided to make another one of these seasonal making plan videos just because the one I made back in the early summer really helped me stay focused this summer on my projects, and I got so much done. So I just wanted to do it again for this upcoming season to help me stay focused on what I most want to get done. So first, let's quickly take a look at what I didn't get done from my summer basket. There's very few things I didn't get to. I got to more of those projects than I thought I would. Number one, I never got around to making anything with this leftover blue gingham fabric, and this was pretty low on the priority list since I didn't have an idea already in mind. I just kind of threw it in there to see if anything came up. Nothing did, so that's fine. I'll just keep that for another time. I did not get around to making the skirt of this fabric into a dress. I would still like to do that, but I might push that back again until next spring or summer. Never got around to making pants with this fabric. I started trying to make a top out of this fabric. I have the mock-up cut out and everything. I had started working on it and then I just ran out of time, and I did not get around to making a vest out of this leftover denim fabric. But this I'm gonna just put right back into the basket for fall because I think a denim vest is a very versatile item that can be worn pretty much year-round, just styled differently. So I'm just gonna put that right back in the fall basket. So like I said, it really did help me focus my time and energy on those things I had already pulled aside rather than just, you know, cracking open my fabric stash or my drawer of things to be altered and going, what do I want to work on this week? I already had that pile set aside. So now let's switch gears and talk about fall plans. I'm going to start with pulling some things from my stash and then talking about my thrift flip pile. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is other crafty things that are maybe fabric adjacent or maybe not fabric based at all, just things that I want to make, because sometimes I do like to dabble in that on this channel, or I might feature some crafts on my second vlog channel. I don't know where I'll put them. I might just make them off camera and share them on Instagram. Oh yeah, here's a good time to plug that, I guess. Also, if you're new here, hi, my name is Melody. I make videos about customizing your wardrobe, creating costumes, and generally just being a crafty woman. And you can find me getting up to those same nefarious activities over on Instagram, where I will share many of the projects that don't end up in a video. Some stuff just doesn't end up in a video. It's either I either run out of time, it just makes more sense to make it off camera, or I just want to keep the process to myself, because in order to not make sewing and crafting a chore and burn myself out, I do have to keep some things for myself. And then I just will share the final product on Instagram and be like, boop, here's the thing I made. So anyway, let's get into it. Whoop, okay, well, we're just making a mess. The first big thing that I know for a fact I want to make is an overdress using this olive green faux suede that I have. Now these are actually two curtain panels that I really love and I wanted to hang up somewhere in this apartment, ideally in this room, but because I thrifted them, I can't find a matching set anywhere. I guess it's better to just use them for the fabric. So the plan is to make an overdress. I do have an overdress that I bought from Holy Clothing last fall and I do really love it, but their sizing's a little bit weird and the size small fits way too big, even all the way tight-laced, and I don't like that. I don't like that, so I think the construction is simple enough or can be simplified enough that I can make my own. So I'm gonna do kind of a combo between that style and one that I keep seeing advertised from Scarlet Darkness that is so cute and it's so tempting, but like you just know looking at their shop front that it's fast fashion. I mean you have to know. The prices are cheap and the material content is like all polyester, so I'm like, how dare you tempt me with this beautiful garbage? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I will make my own and overcome the temptation with crafting. So you know, we're gonna make our own. We have Scarlet Darkness at home. And then I'm hoping that that won't use up the entirety of those two curtain panels because they're very big. Because I would also like to then make, I don't know what it's called, I'll put a picture here, another Renfaire item where it's like the belt, the wide band belt, the panel that goes down the front and the back, and you layer it like over a skirt or over pants or something. I don't know what they're called. It's kind of a loincloth, but like fancy loincloth. That's what I would like to make from that olive green fabric. All right, in this section, oh, this guy right here. Of course, it's all the way at the bottom. This is a lovely green tablecloth. I have a lot of green, sorry. I like I really like green. But anyway, this lovely sage green tablecloth has been intended to be made into a skirt for a few years now, so let's freaking do it. Actually, more than that, let me be more specific. I kind of want to make this into a green skirt for a Christmassy outfit. I'm not a big Christmas person, but somehow I have a lot of Christmas dresses and outfits. I don't know, man. Listen, holidays are a great opportunity to just make themed costumey things, okay? I want to make a skirt with this, and then I think it would be lovely to make a matching top with this toile fabric, these pillow shams, and then it's like kind of Christmassy, but not overtly Christmassy. Could be lovely, that's all I'm saying. No, not you, you're a summer fabric, get out of here. This is only here as a backup because I have plans to fix the Christmas dress that I made, oh wow, 5 years ago. The problem is that the pattern I used for it, one, was a size too big, at least a size too big, and two, was missing the back of the bodice. So since then, I've learned a bit more how to draft pattern pieces for myself and my own body and alter those, and now that I also know that it's entirely too big, I really want to deconstruct and remake that dress. And I bought this to use as a backup in case the fabric just gets totally destroyed and I have to make the dress completely from scratch, because I have just always loved a good red and green Christmas tartan. And so either way, I will have a Christmas tartan dress. Not you, not you. Why is everything that I want to tackle at the bottom? I think it's about time that I make the little tunic Viking dress thing that I've been wanting to make with this. I've continually kept saving to my Pinterest variations of kind of what Eowyn was wearing. But like, yeah, I guess it's considered like a Viking tunic dress. It's an overdress of sorts where it's open on the sides but like tied or laced up. I think this would be perfect for something like that. It's a wee bit stretchy, but not terribly. Or something else that I want to make is a chair cover for my swivel chair. Even though I like the cow print, sometimes it starts to feel a little bit busy to me and I just want to cover it up. And so I've had a blanket draped over it, but I would like to use that blanket elsewhere. And so I thought, now that I don't feel so afraid of stretchy knit fabrics, why not try to make my own stretch chair cover? This would actually be a really good color in this room. So either a chair cover or a tunic overdress. We'll see. Either way, I think it's about high time that this lovely rusty colored fabric gets used for something. What is this? This is just regular black fabric. Okay, you know what? I am gonna put this in the basket, even though I'm not sure if this is the exact black fabric that I'll use. But for the longest time, I have felt like my wardrobe is missing just a basic black sleeveless midi dress, specifically one that can be layered as a pinafore or worn by itself. Because when I look through the Pinterest board of outfits that I've saved for inspiration, that is a consistent theme. It's just a simple black dress, and I just can't find one anywhere that I love, secondhand or otherwise. Now this is questionable material. I don't actually know what the fiber content is, but I already have the fabric in my stash. Might as well use it up. Wow, this basket is already getting so full. Something that I've been meaning to get around to, and I don't know if it'll end up in a video or if I will just tackle it for the sake of tackling it, is I just want to make a bunch of little corset tops, little lace-up bodice tops. That's been a style I've so enjoyed and admired for years now, and I just keep putting off making them for myself. I have made like 2, I think. Yeah, no, I've made one. And that one was a mock-up, so I think it's time I just do it. But I have a bunch of fabrics that I have saved and set aside or thrifted for that purpose. There's this thrifted fabric, this blue fabric that is just, to die for. This is technically like couch upholstery, but I think that would make a lovely corset top. And then there's this wee bit of leftover green fabric that kind of looks mossy. I think it would be cool to hand embroider some moss and things on it. And then from the thrift-flip or to be used for fabric pile, I have this basic taupe kind of brown skirt that I want to turn into a corset top, and this little sage green printed dress that is way too small, but I bought it for the fabric. So I've got a bunch of fabrics that I want specifically for that purpose. There's probably a couple others on here that I could do that with as well, but I'll worry about that later. Oh, except come here, you. I almost forgot this one. This one as well. This little brown homespun cotton tartan. I picked this up in the clearance section of our craft store, and my husband goes, "Why did you buy that? That looks just like stuff you already have in your wardrobe." I said, "Yeah, that way whatever I make out of it will already match my wardrobe." So I think this is just enough to make a little top with. I don't know what I'll do with this, but it's nice and it might be a good lining. Another small fabric remnant that I'm not totally sure what I'll do with yet, but it feels like I have to include it because it's very Halloween-y. I'm gonna leave these two here for now, but these two fabrics have been set aside for my Outlander costume that I've been working on since April. I've only just finished my 18th century undergarments. I haven't even started on the actual costume. That's been a very, very slow fashion project just for me that I am doing off camera, but this is intended to be used for the top. I was planning on using this tartan fabric as the skirt, but I realized I don't have enough. I don't have enough of it, so I might use it for something else. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna leave it there for now, but that's what those are there for. I'm not gonna put them in the basket because that's something that I just chip away at when I have the time. I think that's everything from my fabric stash that I know that I want to make so far. That, and again, tackling more scrap fabric projects because I do still have a bunch of scraps, you know, especially as I continue to do projects. There is significant ebb and flow in the amount of scraps that I have, so I do plan on doing another scrap fabric projects video sometime closer to the end of the year. So let's move on to some thrift flips that I want to tackle, not including the things that I'm repurposing for fabric. I mentioned in my costume closet clean out that it is about high time I just do something with my Hobbit pants, these corduroy, rusty corduroy pants that I really like, but the fit is just not quite right. I do need to take in the waist a little bit, and then I also want to alter the cut of the pant because they're a straight leg fit and I just don't love the narrow cuff. I really want to split them at the sides and make them a flared pant. I think that would be so fun and more 70s, which is definitely an era that I draw more inspiration from style-wise. Oh, just another pair of pants I need to alter and take in. I don't know why. Actually, yes, I do. I was about to say I don't know why I keep thrifting pants that are too big for me, and the answer is because like no jeans fit well, even bought new from the store, so I might as well get them really cheap and just alter them. Yeah, again, these need to be taken in at the waist, and then they're really, really long, but look how wide that leg is. I just loved how wide leg they are, so I would love to alter those to actually fit me. This is a lovely pinafore dress that I thrifted last year because I can't resist a good tartan. But it's very big, so I have to find some way to alter this so that it fits. The thing that I'm running into is just that there's so many buttons and little fixtures on here that make it hard to take it in the way that I normally would. So I'm not sure if I'll need to deconstruct it and reconstruct it or just, I don't know, try something entirely different, but I would love to take this in a bit so that it fits me better. And then the last thrift flip I can think of at the moment is turning some scarves into shawls. I saw a video on Instagram back in the spring. I'll put a screenshot or something on the screen of it so you can see who the creator was, but basically they turned a pashmina scarf into a little cropped shawl jacket thing, and I thought it was freaking brilliant because I always see these pretty little scarves at the thrift store, but I just don't need scarves like to wrap around my neck. That's not really something that I wear right now. So I went out and thrifted a couple scarves with the intent of trying that. I think it could be so cute thrown over a little black dress, and then it's a perfect layering piece for those warmer fall days when you want to have some sleeves with you or something warmer with you, but it's a little bit more open and airy, and it's easy to just pull off when you don't need it. Wow, this basket is full. Okay. Yay, that's not stressful at all. So this is the bulk of what I want to tackle for sewing projects, but some other things that I really want to make include making a pair of cicada wings. So a few weeks ago, we went to the opening day of the Maryland Renaissance Festival, and I wanted to try doing more of a fairy-inspired outfit. Now the thing is I don't have wings, so really I just looked like a whimsical forest elf, and that's fine. My thought was maybe I would see some wings being sold at the fair that I really liked and I would just buy some there, but we ended up not really doing much shopping. But then as I was thinking about it, I realized I don't think I want a pair of fairy wings that are like butterfly-ish, or like, you know, the sparkly Barbie princess type of fairy. Like, I don't think that really fits me. I keep coming back to the idea of cicada wings in my mind because I freaking love cicadas. They are such little weirdos. I constantly am seeing them when I'm out in the garden, like just bonking into things, and they end up on their back and they just lay there until you come over and flip them over, and then they're like, oh, thanks, chap, and they fly away as if nothing ever happened. They're complete dinguses, and I love them. But if you've ever looked very closely at cicada wings, they're absolutely beautiful. They're green and black and laced with gold, and I just think that would be so cool to try to make. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but that's a thing I would like to do, because I just feel like if I'm gonna create a fairy character, she's probably gonna be a little bit more the one who just kind of sits up in the tops of the trees screaming all summer, not so much a butterfly flitting from flower to flower, you know? That just feels more my speed. On a more practical note, I want to try making myself a proper earring holder for my dangle earrings. I don't have a lot, but lately I've literally just been using like a thin piece of metal hung up on 2 command hooks and then just hanging my earrings off of that, and that's worked fine, but I'm kind of getting tired of the look of the command hooks on the wall, especially since we just painted our bedroom like a really nice, dark, moody color, and I want something that looks a little bit more elevated, a little bit more intentional. So I'm thinking of trying that with an old picture frame and maybe hanging some chains across the inside of that. Just playing around and seeing what I can make that looks a little bit more put together, a little bit more intentional. And speaking of arts and crafts, I also just have some dead things that I need to craft with. I have a really cool giant moth that I fished out of the pool that is quite well preserved that I want to make something with, and then some rabbit bones I scavenged last year that were pretty well picked clean on the side of the road in our neighborhood, and then I stuck them in the dirt over the winter so that they were 100% cleaned off, and I would like to make some things with that. I was thinking of making some wall art using the skull, maybe some jewelry with some of the smaller bones, but I think I can make some really cool stuff with those. And as I mentioned, I'm still working on my Outlander costume. 'Tis a labor of love. And kind of to go along with that, I decided, I guess this is technically a sewing project, I decided I want to try making some tie-on 18th century pockets. So I've started working on one already that I am very slowly embroidering by hand, and then once I'm done with that, you know, I'll put the rest of it together. But I think that could be a good way to use up some scraps, and also I'm finding that a lot of times when I wear skirts or dresses, which is frequently, I just need like one phone-sized pocket, and I think that that will address that issue. And I don't mind if it looks a little goofy just walking around the house with a little tie-on pocket, because that's literally all I need. I just need somewhere to put my phone. Modern problems. I'm sure there's way more stuff that I'll get up to project-wise, whether it's sewing or crafting. I have some stuff I need to paint too, but I think I'm done talking for today. I'm tired of talking. I would like to go make myself a matcha and sit silently outside for a little while. But I'm very excited for this upcoming season. The fall and spring are when I feel the most energized and have the most ideas, and I have some fun like Halloween stuff planned for October that I can't wait to share with you guys. So I would love to know down in the comments what is a project that you have planned for the fall or the winter, or just the foreseeable upcoming months that you are the most excited about. What are you working on right now? And also, if you made it to the end of this video, leave a robot emoji down in the comments. And thank you guys, as always, for sticking around and watching to the end. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed hanging out today, make sure that you subscribe so we can hang out again next time. Anyway, I'm gonna go outside. If you're able to, I encourage you to do so as well. And I'll see you next time. All right, bye. I've just been using a piece of metal, like oh no, I should not do that. Okay.